Hey, what's up, guys? Be here again. Here to go over the daily stock watches review that we did in the live stream today for April 23rd. I'm doing a little early so I can get the video up before a little later, but most of everything is pretty much done its movement and they're on the decline now. But let's start with SPY. So I said jobless claims and a few other economic reports coming out today, so market will be somewhat stale towards open. Above 281, below 279. 281 was clearly a strong entry because it broke it, came back down, caught support. Perfect entry. If you want to go see how we made these lines, you can go to the live stream for today. You can go see why we chose that. But it's pre-market high. That's all I did for that one, pre-market high. Then I said below 279. 279 ended up being our double bottom support. Almost triple, pretty much triple. So that's super clean. Again, you could have played puts below this level, even though that was your break above level. You want to be versatile. And you could have played calls once you saw it catch support from this level. So just remember, you can be versatile. You can play both sides of that. Let's go to AMD. AMD, our break above was 57.50. Our break below was 56.15. Kind of range traded between them all day. I chose a very passive range on AMD. Not as tight as SPY, as you can see. But Yanni did call out AMD all day today. As well as Jason was calling Beyond. We were calling Apple, Roku, Tesla, Facebook. Facebook especially, that one was running. So AMD, that was a no-go. Sticking to my levels. If you had made your own levels and played it, I'm very proud of you. But this pretty much did the same thing as SPY. I just didn't choose more aggressive levels. So, and that's alright. I knew that since that's in the S&P, and sometimes AMD leads the pack, sometimes it follows the pack. I wanted to have that one a little different from the rest, just to have my footing right. Let's go to NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I also chose a pretty passive range, as you can see. I chose a pretty aggressive break below, but the above I chose from a whole different time frame, just because of this. Now, if this was to have finished above this, I probably would have alerted the swing calls, because it would have broke above this little pattern we have going here. It would have caught resistance above it. I mean, it's a support above that. That was wrong. That was the wrong wording. NVIDIA is still tanking right now. Might finish the day about right here. But if SPY decides to bleed super crazy, then we'll probably go down more. Not GB, FB. So here on Facebook, 184.70 was our break below, above. Break below was 181.50. I never even came down here again. That's probably too passive of a break below now that I see it, but we were pretty much one direction on Facebook once we got up. It didn't ever come back down below that. And that kind of reminds me of SPY too. You get the little triple again, 1, 2, 3, compared to this. Here on Facebook, you could have gotten on the strong momentum for a quick 5-minute scalp. But again, I would have waited for the patient play to pay. I would have waited till you saw it catch support on any of this line at all, because most of these runs, even if you kept it till about midday, were pretty profitable until that Gilead news came out. The test trial drug failed, so the whole market tanked at that exact same time. Almost every single chart looks the same from there on. And right from the get-go, I spot a squeeze. It's kind of like a big bear flag. Got your flagpole. Got your flag. It's pretty much a symmetrical triangle, nonetheless. It's pretty much a symmetrical triangle squeeze after a pull, after a big rise or a big fall. See, if this right here would have just done this just a few times, and you had a squeeze, then that would have been a bull flag. But we kind of had this dip here. It didn't keep consolidating. It didn't do that there. It failed the higher high, so it kept going down. Then it caught our support. That would have been an amazing entry. And you would have caught that rise up on the more one-directional play. Either of these runs were profitable, don't get me wrong. This one was more profitable, more secure. Let's go to Apple. I had 2 stars on Apple today. As she's still making people money. I had a friend get in puts right before I started this video. 277.50 was the break above. 274 was the break below. As you can see, 277.50 claimed. This would have been your entry. Yeah, that would have been your entry. This candle, or right here. Or you could have waited till you saw it come back down and see if it ever came back down to here or here. And then you would have grabbed entry on one of those 2 lines. So you get kind of a squeeze there again. And I got my flagpole. And then you got the rise. Then you got another one. Then you got another one. This one's not really a flag, but it is a little bit of consolidation before it dipped. That's kind of cool. So Apple was a really big play today. If you played the puts below this line, you would have been good too. Not on this one. This would have been stay away from because that was all from the news. But after you saw it hit here a second time or reject here, you could have got in with a loose stop loss. Maybe to try and catch this end of day run. I know some dudes will go light with like 1 contract that expire tomorrow just to try and catch 1 bleeding contract, but all good if you just stayed out after that. That news did kind of throw a chink in the chain. Didn't hurt anything, but definitely did change a lot of stocks prices really quick. All right. Here on Roku, we have 163.65. 123.65 was the aggressive entry. Above that was 125. That was a passive entry. Kind of like a target 1, target 2. Below 122.15. Passive would have been 121. It even used our aggressive put entry as a support. We had our little flag here. Not really a flag, but had a little move here, make a higher high. Then you had your lower high, confirming uptrend. It broke our level entry as it breaks higher high. The lower high now. But that would have been your higher high at the time. You would have waited for it to break this to get in right here on this candle as it broke your level. It's aggressive entry. Then you would have seen it break this line. Entry would have been here as you saw it break above. Your passive entry. And then your take profit was not much higher. I probably would have said after this entry, I would have said a stop loss at this level. After you got into here, I would have rechanged it to about here. 25 cents away. You don't want to get a fat wick. And then after you entered, it didn't even do that. It went down a little, but it never came back down enough to hit your level or your stop loss. And then after it gets here, and you saw it break above this, set an aggressive stop loss as you're up here. Catch that rise. Used our old resistance as a support. Failed it. Then it tried to get good confirmation to go back down, but not a really good one. It gave you some choppiness right here. But that's totally fine. So pretty good levels so far on almost every single one here. All we have left is Tesla and Beyond. Beyond was probably the best one on here today. Just out the bat, I just seen that. The above level was 737, below was 719. After the pre-market high, it never did come back up and test that. And I did set some passive levels on Tesla. End of day playing would have been the better time to wait for this one. That's all the information we kind of have right there. Good rejection here for a 1, 2, third time, fourth time. I always try to stick to the 3-4 rule just because a lot of things do happen in waves. Sometimes it's just 1 to 2 depending on stock. Sometimes it's 3 to 4. This is Tesla, so it's going to probably do more. Caught support in that little range that we just drew. It even rejected. See, this would have probably been the cleanest entry right here. You saw it come up and reject the line. That was the most one-directional play so far, besides right here. But that would have been kind of hard to call out. This, though, that was easy to call. 719. I sadly wasn't on. It's dropped $10 without making a higher high. So let's just go over right here. This is your high. This is you rejecting your level. This is the level you never want to see it go back above if you're entering puts. Okay, you get down here. It stops, gives you a green candle, tries to come up. Nope, it didn't make a higher high. It never even attempted. It made a lower high. That's what you call a lower high now. That's your lower high. Drops, 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 drops. Continuation. Fails to make lower high. Fails to make higher high. Here's your lower high. Sell, sell, sell. Fails to make higher high. Makes lower high. You were still in this trade. You were still confidently in this trade. Now, if you wanted to sell at any times of these trades, you definitely could have. If you wanted to take your profits and get to the next one, go ahead. I completely understand that. But I'm just giving good entry points. That would have kept you in the trade the whole time because it was confident. You were confident in it once you saw that happening. You never saw it come back up, so there was no reason to even have a thought in your head of you going, oh, I need to sell. No, you need to hold. Beyond. Let's go over the golden play today. So if you're in stream today, you did see me go over Beyond. I think David C. had mentioned it to me to go put it on the list. And I set the break above at 91. Let me edit that and put it exactly 91. And if you watch these, you know exactly where you want to enter on these plays, on this system. So here's our lines. 91, 88, 50. Same notepad, same everything from the stream. 98, 88, 50. Let's go over entry. So it opened in between our zones. All we did was choose pre-market low and then a pretty passive pre-market high. Let's see. Yeah, wasn't touched. That was pre-market high. So entry. You saw it go up. You're chilling here. You're watching the screen bar. You're thinking, okay, we're getting a good shot. We're going to get an early play on this one. It comes up, falls under, comes up, falls under. There's no good entry at all right here. I haven't seen a single good entry. Maybe this candle. Maybe this candle. But that's you taking a chance. If you would have got in right there and had to have held during this, that would have been pretty hard. But strong hands on you if you stuck in it. Plenty of our chat played this today. Jason called this out. I don't even know if it was off my list. I'm sure he had the same level as me. A lot of us use the same system in this chat. And then it followed this trend up. This is the candle I would have entered on right here. It broke 91, sat on top of 91.50, a psychological number. I don't have volume on right now, but I'm sure it was rising right there. And that's when Beyond started popping. And at 0 time, should you have exited this trade till about here, or at least scaled out? Maybe even here. This you should have held through because you should have been thinking, okay, that news just hit the whole market. Let's see if it decides to keep dropping or if it's going to just, stick with it. Because technically, you're still in profit right there. If you got in back here, and it drops all the way to here, you're still up a decent amount. If you're getting a next week contract day trading this, holding it. A day trade is where you're holding it most of the day or part of the day. Scalp is where you're in and out just a few minutes. So you need to know the difference. A day trade is where you're definitely going to be holding. So you need to be looking at next week contracts or even the week after. But you don't need to be in a Friday contract if it's Thursday. If it's Monday, you can maybe do that. But just you need to remember you have theta to worry about. IV crushes as well. But Jason in our chat today did call out that he was hoping for Beyond to hit 100. On his chart, he had a line at 100, and so he had technical analysis behind it, but he had a pretty good feeling about it, so I'm glad it worked out for him. A lot of people profited from this in the chat today. So thank you guys for watching the video. If you can, like the video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.